only 7 books on page 1. I don't want you to read these books today. And I don't want you to read these books while you're in IIT. I want you to read these books after you finish IIT because you have to be focused. First goal, get into IIT. Second goal, keep good GPA, get good internships, get the career launched. After career launch, weekend reading. Okay, so these 7 books will help you answer the 2 questions. Either which manager or how do I learn how to invest. How do I learn how to invest is a 50-year journey. Raamdeo is still learning, I'm still learning. It's a beautiful experience to keep learning. So with that, what we'll do is we'll open the floor for questions. And so if you have a question, if you can just, can you bring your chair here? If you have a question, if you can just raise your hand, tell us your name, where you're from, and then give us a question. So first question. Yeah, please go ahead. Let's wait for the mic.
My name is Dakshana Scholars. I am from a village in Bardwan district in West Bengal state. My question is, we know that nothing is 100% perfect. So it is not that everyone gets profit in investing, but we only hear about positive aspects of investment. Please share about disadvantages of investment and also please share about your bad experiences in investment.
Okay, so Raamdeo, have you ever had a bad experience in investing?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a probabilistic business in the sense that 100 out of 100, say you don't buy one stock. In the stock market, in a portfolio of say 10 crores, you have say 10 stocks. So out of 10 stocks, what will happen is that 2 or 3 will be very good, way beyond your expectation. 2 or 3 will be as per your expectation, and 2 or 3 will be below expectation. Now, what happens is that you are perfectly right, there will be negatives. I mean, nobody knows the future perfectly. So obviously, you expect something and completely different happens, and hence the company doesn't do well. So you are going to meet with some of the mistakes. So, but then why the stock market works? The stock market works particularly is that the downside is only 1x. When you lose, say you put 10 rupees in 10 stocks. Okay, 3 stocks went to 0. So how much you lost? You lost 30 rupees. Okay. But the rule is that if it is successful, then it can be 1,000 times, it can be 100 times, it can be 10 times, it can be. So the 30 which has worked, said that has just about doubled in 10 years. That's not a big deal. But the 3 which are very successful, they will go 100 times. One will go 50 times. So 3 are 0. So the total portfolio will 3 has become 0 and 6 has become say 3 times. So 6 will become 180 minus you do your 30. So still your 100 has become 150. So that's how your stock market works. It is never that you not commit mistake. The companies, I told in the beginning, the companies go up and company goes down also. So you have to be ready to, and the smartness is in buying more good companies and less bad companies.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a different angle. So let's say you are operating in category 2, which is you graduate from IIT, you find some guy, you think this person is a good investor, I have saved 3 lakhs, I give it to that person. That person turns out to be a crook. Okay? He is an evil person. And he calls you one day and say, I'm sorry, what was your name? Bhaskar, I'm so sorry, all your money is gone. Right? Now, according to me, what I have learned in life, what just happened to you is the best thing that can happen to you. And I hope it happens to you. He agrees. I hope it happens to you at the age of 22. Because it will be God's gift. So what has happened in my life is we are talking about misfortune. Something negative happens. Every every time something negative has happened in my life, like this, losing money or something happened like this, at that time I'm feeling really bad. But also what happens is, I look at why it happened. And I try to learn from why it happens. Or he said 3 stocks went to zero. Why did they go to zero? What did I do wrong and how can I improve? So Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, not part of CBSE curriculum. And but he had severe adversity in life, lots and lots of problems. And he came up with a concept where he said that bad luck and bad misfortune is a blessing, and to encounter it and then raise yourself up is good fortune. So what I have learned, and I go back and look at all the times in my life where I lost money, and I'm sure Raamdeo, if I ask him, Raamdeo, go back to the time when you lost money, what happened after that? And I'm almost sure you're going to say you learned. Did you learn?
Yes.
Yeah, and what happens is after the learning, he makes 100 times, right?
And we find new ways of losing money.
Alright, find new ways to. So, 3 lakhs is gone at the age of 22. It's not 3 lakhs, 30 crores is gone, right? Because at 72 there are going to be 30 crores. No problem. You are 23, you have more money, you have 3.5 lakhs saved. What are you going to do? Forget the guy who just lost the money. He's not going to get the second 3.5 lakhs. If you had done well, he would have gotten it. You will try to learn because it's going to hurt you. What happened? What went wrong? Talk to your friends. Figure out how can I change it. But what you cannot do is forget about compounding. Okay? So you just have to assume, hey, I had a stumble. I'm going to come back. No problem. I made a lot of mistakes in 2008, 2009. And I used to have a net worth in 2007, which was almost 85 million. Okay, and by 2009, it was less than 20 million, gone down a lot. And at that time, I started Dakshana. Dakshana had just started. I said, I can't even fund Dakshana. I was almost thinking in 2009, Colonel remembers, I thought we have to shut down Dakshana because there's not enough money to run Dakshana and run everything. But then the government told me that, listen, reduce the size, but don't shut down. One of the best things I did. So we took Dakshana down to only 50 students. That year in 2009, we only ran in Bangalore. We only took one batch of 50. That's it. We didn't take any more, but we continued all the existing students. So I took a big leg down at that time. But a lot of lessons were learned. And we have gone way past. I went past 80 million, went past way beyond that. So the best thing that can happen to me, I always know, is something bad happening to me. And so something bad happening to you is good for you. Other questions? Next question? Yeah, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ansupriya. I am from a village in district Padama, East Jharkhand. My question is compounding like process of study, that more we study, we get more knowledge. So, more we play this game, we will be more expert to play. How? I mean, what are the processes that take place during this game? I think it's a very interesting game. I want to know how to play it.
Yeah, so, as he said, whenever you start earning, use the money properly. Say you start with, 10 lakhs rupees at the age of 25. First time you get recruited, 10, 12 lakhs rupees. That's what typically most of the graduates get. But 12 lakhs rupees, you must live a very nice life. Say you spend 50,000 rupees a month. So you have spent 6 lakhs rupees. So savings is first thing. Like Buffett says, what is that? He gave a question. Savings is equal to what you earn minus what you spend, something like that.
Yeah.
So first you save and then you spend. What is left is spend.
The first money you take is into savings.
Savings.
Most people, what they do, what is left goes in savings. You move to savings first, and then what is left you spend.
Yeah, so have that particular thing that I will save 5 lakhs rupees out of that 10 or 12 lakhs rupees, whatever I'm making. Once that 5 lakhs rupees come in your hand, then that is very, very powerful because you are getting this at the age of 25. And for that, runway, the time for compounding is 40, 50 years. So that is very, very precious. That 5 lakhs is not 5 lakhs, it might be worth 50 crores or 100 crores. So that very day, without a delay, you must put either in deposit or you give it to somebody, some person like me, or you have to find a way to. And there are a whole lot of guys. There are 500 guys whom you can give money, and at that point of time you buy, or if nothing else, you can buy the index, which is.
That's right.
You'll come to know when you earn 12 lakhs rupees. I'm quite sure a lot of guys will come and tell you what to do with the money. But save that 5 lakhs rupees. That is very important. And start investing. Start investing because you would be knowing the compounding. You are starting the year 1 of the compounding. 0 date is starting. The day on which you get your 5 lakhs rupees, don't wait for 5 years for somebody to come and tell you why you are not investing, your money is rotting and this and that. Start because you lost 5 years otherwise. And most of the kids, when I meet a lot of kids, I interview them for the jobs, they have no clue what they should, and they will be earning already 25 lakhs, and yet they don't know what to do with their money. That is a very sad thing. So the compounding starts the very first time you save. Once you save, you put it in the right products, and then next again you save. Again there is another 5-6 lakhs coming, and then what happens is you are reading, you are graduating. So you start with 15 lakhs. In 5 years' time, kids like you will reach 50 to 60 lakhs salary minimum. At that point of time, your savings are compounding. It is exponentially rising. In 5 years, your savings will not be 5 lakhs. Savings itself will be like 25, 30 lakhs. That 30 lakh you put now and you run it for 40 years. You do your numbers. You'll go nuts. But nobody starts this. So what is important is the earliest you have the savings habit and put the money, like Buffett started at the age of 11. He did all sorts of things, pinball machine, and he used to run crazy things. Gold ball he used to collect and sell it. Then he used to buy cokes in a dozen and sell it in singles. So that's how soda bottles and all. So that's how he used to make money. So he earned his first 1,000. In fact, he read a book, how to earn first 1,000. See, in life, the most difficult thing is to earn the first 1,000 or first lakh or whatever. Once you earn that, then the compounding starts and life becomes easy. So my suggestion is, be very conscious. Whenever you earn money, you put it to the right use. Invest at the right place.
Yeah, and what I would like to add is that we have given you the framework. Right? So the framework is you understand the power of compounding. You are going to go to IIT. You are going to get a good job. You're going to have savings. All those things are given. Beyond that, the rate we can worry about later. But another thing that we've talked about, which is one of the slides he had, is compounding of knowledge. So it is very important. And in fact, one of the reasons why I love to hang out with Raamdeo is he is a knowledge compounder. Every time I meet him, I ask him, Raamdeo, what books have you read? What are you excited about? What's going on? Right? All these things. So the second thing is I gave you 7 books. Those 7 books may lead to 70 more books. But what you have to do is be a learning machine. If you are a learning machine, and what Charlie Munger says, this bus is right there, is go to bed wiser than when you woke up. And do that for your whole life. And what will happen is 10 years after you graduate, 20 years after you graduate, 30 years after you graduate, you look around and you'll see all the people who are with you are way behind. And you are running ahead. So knowledge is power. And so you want to keep taking in knowledge. I played bridge with Charlie Munger about just last week for Friday, about 8-9 days ago. And every time I play bridge, I always ask him, Charlie, what are you reading? Right? And so he told me, I'm reading a book called The One Thing. Right? He mentioned a book. The One Thing is about the history of the iPhone. Okay? Charlie has never used a mobile phone in his life.
No.
He does not own a mobile phone. Okay? And he's reading this book, right? And then he tells me what he's excited about the book. So I bought the book. In fact, I bought it to read on the airplane journey and all that. And so the thing is, that book on the iPhone, I don't know how and in what context it will help me. But I know it will not hurt me. So what you have to do is just be a learning machine. And he was telling me all these things he was learning. And this is a guy who's not going to use a phone. He doesn't have a mobile phone. And he's worth $8 billion. Till he dies, he won't use a phone. So it's just, I found it very funny. But the thing is, he was describing to me some of the journey of the iPhone. The guy has never used the phone. It's amazing. So it's great. So compound knowledge, very important. Next question? Yeah.
Hello sir, my name is Ajit Kumar. I belong to Rohtak district, Bihar. Sir, my question is, could you recommend some books so I can learn from basic level about investment?
Okay, well, I already answered your question. We got it right here. And so I hope you will read this book. See, even Raamdeo is interested. He's trying to make sure, is there any book he has not read?
Not read.
Have you read them all? I would be disappointed if you have not read them all. So we're going to give you the list, and I hope you read them, but not till you finish IIT. Or what you can do if you want to start earlier, because you can't wait. 4 years, 5 years, long time to wait. So what you can do is, the day you finish your JEE Advanced. So the first 2 of these books on this list are free, because they are on the internet. Okay? Day you finished your JEE Advanced, if you have internet access, you go look at that list. First 2, you just print everything. Okay? And that will keep you busy for the summer. And then every summer you keep reading, every winter break you keep reading, and then when you finish IIT, go full out. Because 500 crore ki baat hai. We need 500 crores. Because you can't put all the burden of Dakshana on one guy. Okay? We need thousands of Dakshanas. We have to completely transform this nation. So why are he and I focused on making you rich? We are making you rich so that you make others rich. Okay? Make sure you do that. Okay, so thank you very much. Next question? Yeah, please.
Hello sir, I am Raamdeo Agrawal Mohnish Pabrai. Sir, my parents often told me that investing money in the share market is like gambling. And I wanted to know that up to what extent it is true. If there is no certainty, then why should we invest our money?
So, stock market has 2 types of people, investors and speculators. And both of them, they go to the same place. And they look same. You can't figure out who's a speculator and who's an investor. You have to be wearing the cap and activity of investor. Gambling is very bad. Worse than drinking, smoking, all put together, speculation is worse than that. And speculation in gold, speculation in metals, speculation in stock market, everything is bad. So what happens is stock market assumes bad name because of that. But all the rich people in the world, all the rich people, if you take Fortune 500, all 500 people, they are rich because they own a company which is listed in stock exchange. And you will be rich because you will be either creating a company. The biggest opportunity is to create a company and become billionaires out there, like anybody else, like a Facebook or Microsoft. But you will be rich, you will be a Bill Gates because your company will be listed in stock market. I will be rich because I will be buying your company. I will buy your company at $10 million because I can see that you are kind of guy can create a $100 billion company. When you go 1,000 times, I will also go 1,000 times. So stock market has a fantastic role to value a company. Now, if you do speculation out of that, that's your problem. You understand? So Stock market is a great place for investors and terrible place for speculators.
Yeah, so I would agree. I think your parents probably have it mostly right, in the sense that, let's say you graduate from IIT and some friend tells you this stock is really good and you buy the stock. That is really stupid. But the good news is what will happen is you lose money and then you'll learn. So it's great.
You have to pay your tuition fee.
In fact, it would be very sad if you make money, because then you will think there's nothing to learn. So the best thing that will happen to you is you lose money. So your parents are right, but the thing is that if you have a systematic process, so we have something known as the Sensex index or Nifty 50 index. You can buy the index. You can move. You don't even need to go into the stock market. Buy a fixed deposit. It will not do as well. It may not even keep up with inflation, but still it is better than doing nothing. The important thing is length of runway, rate of savings. The third piece is the return. We can play with the return. So, other questions? Yeah.
My name is I am from Solapur district in Maharashtra. My question is, sir, how you have developed your interest in field of investing, and how can we develop our interest? As people like us have no money, if we enter in this field, what should be our first step towards the field of investing?
Yeah. So I also didn't have any money in '87. When I passed out from Chartered Accountancy, and I came to Mumbai and I was staying with my brother's money. I used to draw money from my brother. When I said now enough is enough, and now I'm starting to earn money in the market. So in the stock market or investing, if anything you multiply with 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so if you don't have capital, you cannot invest. So first you have to generate your own capital. So what I did, say like typically most of the people, what they will do, they will take up a job. You're a bright kid, you'll go to IBM, you'll go to L&T, you'll go to Reliance or somewhere, they'll give you 10-15 lakhs with this job. So very first year, as I said, first savings, you save 6 lakhs rupees. If I am in your place, I save 9 lakhs of rupees. Very first year. Okay, and that 9 lakhs becomes my first capital. Now by that time, I would have read all the books Mohnish has told me. Particularly the Warren Buffett letters, if you read, all, I think from 67 it is there.
Yeah.
67 till date, it's a 40 years letters. 40 years letters will give you PhD in investing, if you read it properly. I used to get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and I read that. And I was reading when I didn't know anything about America, because these are all American letters. And this is the only place where Warren Buffett himself writes 23 pages every year. If you read that, I guarantee you, you'll be better than, I think in India, I don't know about the world, but in India, you'll be in top 100 guys. You'll be so good. So that knowledge is one side, and you are now 5 lakhs of rupees in your hand. Both you combine, you'll keep growing. And then in 5 years, you'll have almost 1 crore rupees, I guarantee you. That's how you start building capital. Whether I decided not to work, I decided not to work in a company. I decided to start my business. I started a small broking business, because broking business doesn't require any capital. You don't require any capital. You need the knowledge of the market, and you needed to know a few people who had money. I used to think I'm a very smart guy in the market. I know everything, and that's how I started my broking business. We learned in first 4 years. I earned 15 lakhs. First 4 years. Nowadays, person like you, when go to the market, in very first day, you'll get 15 lakhs rupees. I earned 15 lakhs of rupees after 4 years of hard work. Then we bought the membership of Bombay Stock Exchange. And the moment we bought the membership of the Bombay Stock Exchange, good time was waiting, and the bull run happened. First bull run happened in 92. And I earned 30 crores in next 18 months. 30 crores. That 15 lakh became 30 crores in 2 years. That's the power of the stock market. Till you don't get it right, it gives you little money. But when you get it right, it just explodes. So you can start from 0, but when you combine your small savings and your knowledge, and then opportunity which comes at some point of time. That's
now,
how it works.
Raamdeo, how old were you when you heard about Warren Buffett for the first time?
95. So I was about 35 years old.
35. You know, he lost, how many years he lost?
How many years? Yes.
He lost 13 years. 13 years is a long time. You saw what happens, right? I heard about Warren Buffett for the first time when I was 30 years old. So even I was wandering in the wilderness for 8, and I heard about him by accident. But the thing is, the accident happened because I was taking a flight from London to Chicago. I was on vacation with my wife, and I was looking for something to read on the airplane. So anytime I'm in an airplane, now you know, the airplanes, they have now a lot of movies and all that, the international flights. I never watch any news. I love to read. And thank God I love to read, because that day I picked up a book, and that book was talking about Warren Buffett. And so that's how, so if I had not picked up that book, you would not be here. So thank God I didn't watch a movie on the flight. If I was watching a movie on the flight, that movie would have cost me at least $100 million. You know, the movie ticket, $100 million ticket. So it's very important to be a learning machine. Just keep taking in knowledge.
You all are really lucky to get to hear him and me and introduce you. See, we can only introduce. We cannot get into your head. That's what you have to do. But at least we are sensitizing you that there is a person called Warren Buffett, and there is a letter called Warren Buffett Letters. Now reading has to be done by you, and you will like it. I mean, it's a question of whether you like it or not. It's a love at first sight. When I met Buffett, when I heard about Buffett and somebody gave me that letter, and then I read all the 25, 30 years later, that time for 10 crore I had 225 stocks in my portfolio. So badly confused I was. 225 companies, 4 pages of Excel sheet. I was just not managing. I was so confused all over. All my hard-earned money, 10 crores, were lying in 225 stocks. The moment I read the letters, I brought it down to 15. I drafted my wife. I called my wife. I said, you come for 1 year and clean this damn thing. She used to come every day. She doesn't know what is a difference between a company and company. She used to come every day, give me the 10 stocks. She used to throw 10 stocks every day in the market. And that's how, after 8 or 9 months, she gave me a clean list of 15 companies. The very first year, the portfolio doubled. The 10 crore became 20 crores. That's the power of reading.
Now, you know, I'm going to give you some data on Raamdeo. May make him a little uncomfortable. But let's go. So Raamdeo, how many crores are yours in your mutual fund?
So we manage about 30,000 crores in mutual fund.
No, but your money, how much is your money in the fund?
My money would be about 2,500 crores.
Okay, so 2,500 crores is in this fund, his own money. Okay, and how old are you?
I am 60.
60. What is your date of departure? They all know my date of departure. You know my date of departure? Raise your hand if you know my date of departure.
How would anybody know? Nobody knows.
No, I know. So, my date of departure is June 11th, 2044. You please make sure you show up for the funeral. Okay? I don't want to be alone. Okay? So, why do I have knowledge of my date of departure? And before we finish, Raamdeo is going to know his date of departure too. So, it is very important to know departure date, because compounding is about periods, right? If I don't have a number of years, then I can't get to the period. So you're 60,
Yeah,
right?
I have still 40 at least. 40 more years.
40 more years. Okay, so 2,500 crores. And you know, he doesn't screw around. He's at 26% a year. Is that correct? He loves 26%. 3 years the double.
Double in 3 years.
Okay, so 40 years is how many doubles? Please do mota hisab. Don't give me some fractions. 13. Okay? What's 2,500 times 13?
8,000.
Pardon?
8,000.
2,500 times 13?
He's right. 1 into 2 to the power 3.
Yeah.
2,000. So that's about 8,000.
So, no, what?
9,000.
No, 25. So, 20. No, I mean, it is 32,500 crores.
Something like that.
2,500 crores gets multiplied by 13. It's 30. Oh no, it's 13 doubles. Sorry. So 13 doubles is
8,000 times. 8,000
So
into
what is 8,000 times 2,500 crores? I want to make sure that currency note at Reserve Bank. Because he's going to go to RBI and say, I've come to collect all the currency notes. I have to make sure that they have done remonetization. So what's 2,500 times 1,000? Right? So it's 2.5 million crores, right?
25 lakh crores.
25 lakh crores. And then times 8 is, how much is that?
Don't do it. It's like the rice thing.
Right. So let me tell you something. That 2,500 crores, he is excluding a large portion of his assets. Right? You've not included the stake in Motilal Oswal.
Yeah, the company itself is like...
That's even more than that, but we won't talk about that. But the person you have sitting next to you at the age of 60 is already one of the most prominent investors and prominent business people in India. But let me assure you that 20 years from now, 25 years from now, he'll be right there because all the other people above him don't understand compounding. Very few people understand compounding. So very few people play this game. And so Raamdeo, people ask Warren Buffett that if you can have any wish in the world, what would you like? So you know what Buffett says? Buffett says is that when I die, and they look at my corpse, they look at me and they say, man, he was old. Okay? So the number one thing he wants
is the longest
is
life.
long life. He's continuously looking at long life. So the number one thing that compounders want, they want long runways. The number one,
long healthy life.
Long healthy life, long runway. And the advantage someone like Raamdeo has is, unlike the Indians who are starting with $24, if you look at starting today, it's 2,500 crores. So you saw what a mind-boggling number it became. Make sure you calculate the exact number. And then you calculate that number against the wealthiest person in the world. No one in the world has more than $100 billion. Okay? The wealthiest person is less than 100 billion. But you do this number and you see where it ends up. It may go past all of those. And so that's the magic of compounding. Next question.
My name is Dilip Kusma. I am from Chhatarpur, Madhya Pradesh. I want to ask you that in your life, have discouraging people played any crucial role, or you move away from discouraging people?
Have discouraging people played a role in your life? People telling you negative things.
Good question. You have to think about all those bloody guys.
Let me, while he's thinking, I'll answer.
Yeah.
So, एक हिंदी फिल्म थी जिसमें ये गाना था, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातें, कहीं बीत न जाए रहना, right? There will always be people. In fact, let me just tell you this, in the investing context, life is very lonely. Because at the time you're making an investment, usually nobody agrees with you. Okay, so for example, last year जब demonetization हुआ, सब पैसे चले गए. There are companies on the stock market who are in real estate business. Real estate was heavy cash business. All their stocks collapsed because their sales went away. Everything it went down. In some cases, it went down so much that the assets of the company are worth 4 times the stock price. So I was buying some of these companies, but if I talk to anyone at that time, they will give me 100 reasons why I'm stupid, right? and because kuch to log kahenge, right? And the important thing in investing is independence of thought. So I am going to sometimes ask people and get perspectives, but I am not going to completely depend on them. And the beauty about this business is that after eventually we get the answer. So is real estate a good investment or not? Many people would have told me it's not a good investment, and I did not agree with that. In 2-3 years we will have an answer. Either I was wrong or they were wrong. And that's fine. If I'm wrong, I'll try to learn from that and go on. So there will always be, so anytime, let's say tomorrow you want to start a business. You tell your uncles and cousins and family, मैं job छोड़ रहा हूँ, मैं business शुरू कर रहा हूँ. Guaranteed, they will not tell you go for it. Okay? They will say, please, इतने पैसे बन रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हो? They will always have, now they may be right. It may be that you start the business goes to zero, you lost your job, all of that. But we have to remember Marcus Aurelius, which is, we want to get misfortune. And we want to fall down. And we want to get hurt. Because from those experiences comes higher highs. So, like my younger daughter, she told me, she asked me, she said that she's going to graduate in 1.5 years. So she asked a very unusual question. She said, do I have to take a job after I finish college? Can I just start my business? Can I start a business? Now both my daughters know that सारा पैसा आपको जा रहा है, उनको ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. So they know they have to fend for themselves, right? So I told my daughter, I said, yes, you should definitely start a business, and that business is definitely going to fail. Okay? And after that, you should start another business, and that will also fail. Then third business, that will also fail. And I'll say, while you're doing all these things, I'll tell you what you do. Because I'm a useless father, I'm not going to support you. So I told her, instead of taking full-time job, some company is willing to give you 70,000-80,000, you tell them you want part-time job. You work for them for 4 or 5 hours. Rest of the time you do your business. So tell them, give me half the salary, I'll work for half the time. And you keep doing these failing businesses, you will not have much savings, but you'll be living on your own. Fifth business, you will make $200 million. And then everything will be fine. But you have to fail 4 times. Okay? So please, don't take the full-time job, start the business, and I hope it fails. Okay? I told her that. And the good news is, she's still talking to me. Okay? And I think the second good news is, she's probably going to do it. She heard all this, she's going to do it. So I think it's important to keep that in mind, that anytime you're going to do something unconventional, Warren Buffett is a very unconventional guy. Charlie Munger is a very unconventional guy. Anytime you do something that is not normal, everyone around you will oppose you. And many times they'll be right. But if we don't do unconventional things, the planet cannot improve. Improvement relies on unreasonable people doing unreasonable things. So be unreasonable and do. So, the other thing is, you have your IIT degree. Job छोड़ भी दिया, savings spend भी कर लिया, कुछ business शुरू करके ठप्पा भी हो गया, फिर से नौकरी मिल जाएगी, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं. In fact, second time when you go to look for a job, you'll have some interesting thing on the resume that I did a business and I learned these things. More people will be interested in hiring you. So you can't lose. It's a great thing to do. But good question. So we'll take, I think we'll take one more question, and then we'll carry on. So
just to
go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't remember negative guys. Actually, my principle is not to allow negative guys to come around me. So we walked with 5 guys in the morning, and one 6th guy came, and he started talking all negatives in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. I told him, he was a dear friend of mine, so I told him, you are not allowed to walk with us unless you tell 5 positive things, and then 1 negative is allowed. and then, he was very uncomfortable because he used to come with loads of, negative things. Bihar mein this is happening, in Jharkhand this is happening. I said, boss, we are in the stock market, how are we concerned with all this? Give me something positive. So stay away from these negative fellows. Okay, but there are a lot of negatives which have come in life, and you have to rise on every single occasion because you are determined to become rich and successful in whatever field you are wanting to be. So I was doing my CA here. So first learning for me was I went to 150 companies for an articleship. You may not realize what I'm talking about, but it's an apprenticeship where we used to get 50 rupees a month for working full 10 hours. And that they should be giving to anybody. I went to 150 companies to get my one apprenticeship. So that itself was a big learning. It was almost a do or die kind of situation. If you don't get apprenticeship, you go back to Raipur. Then second, when I started doing CA, there is an intermediate and there is a final. So in intermediate, I failed 4 times. And why I failed? Not that I was a duffer. I failed because my handwriting was very bad. It was so bad that I was not able to read what I am writing. No jokes. After failing 4 times, actually after failing 3 times, I changed my handwriting. I went back to the pre-KG books where you start with 0, you start with slant lines. I bought all the books from Blackie and Company in VT, and I did everything. Then I appeared. Again I failed. Why I failed this time? Handwriting was very good, but there was no speed. You needed speed. Then actually I passed 5th time when I had the handwriting and the speed. So you'll face a lot of adversity in life, but you have to be determined. You have to be clear about your goal. I had to become CA. Otherwise I had to go to village. That was very clear. So because of that, I improved my handwriting and I came out with flying colors in 5th attempt. So you'll get to see, like yesterday in the market, it was historically one of the most unusual days yesterday in the stock market. Whatever I had, everything went down. And whatever I didn't have, everything went up. And went up by 25%. I've never seen anything like this. So, at 3 o'clock I went to the asset management room and I told everybody, go home today. Don't talk to anybody. Just take a leave. There's no point in what is irrational market. There's no point in rationalizing that. After 24 hours we'll feel a little better. Sure. And then come back to the dealing room or whatever. So you see a lot of negatives, but you have to be very clear about your goal. Have positive attitude. Please surround yourself with positive guys. And any negative guy you see, throw him out or you run away. Whatever.
Yeah, actually, then there's a gravitational pull, and I may have talked to you guys before, that if we hang out with people who are better than us, we will get better. And if you hang out with people who are worse than you, you'll get worse. So you will go either way based on who you are with. So when you select your close friends, it's very important that you select people that are better than you. And many times, I say no so many times to so many very successful, prominent people. Someone to meet for lunch or something else, because I look at the person and I say, it's probably not going to work out properly. And so I try to focus on individuals that will help me. And so one of the reasons why, Raamdeo, I think this is the 3rd time we are meeting. The reason we are meeting the 3rd time, because the first time I met him, I felt like this is a person I have to spend more time with. Because he's better than me, I can learn from him. And I want to do that. And so I try to increase the interaction with people like that. And the other thing is, there are very few people who understand compounding. Not understand but apply it. Very, very small number of humans are like that.
And on my side, I was thinking I'm going to learn from him. And that's how I got in touch with him. I said, and the first question I asked him, how do you make money in America? America is a very competitive place. So every person makes money in a different way. So I was very keen to, he was telling this, that. I said, boss, you got to tell me how you make money. Because I want to learn something from you. You're so successful, so famous. Let me understand something from you, how you make money. So that I have my process of making money. But can I improve it a little bit? And I have improved. I learned from him and I have improved that. Clearly I have improved. At least there is another way of making money using Raamdeo plus Mohnish.
So, one more question. Yeah, please.
Sir, my name is Padma. I am from Damghar, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir. So my question is, that strategy that you and Warren Buffett are following of doubling the money in 3 years, it's a great idea. But instead of investment, is there some other ways to compound at fast rates?
No, he's asking besides the investing way, what other ways can we make money fast? We have talked about that you can invest and make money. What other ways can you make money?
Being entrepreneur, you can make 1 to million in 10 years. I mean, you can be another Facebook, you can be another. I mean, entrepreneurship is the fastest. I mean, there is only one guy who has made $500 billion by buying other companies' stocks. Only Buffett has made money. Now, out of 500 richest guys, only Buffett is the only person who has made money, lot of money, by buying other person's businesses. Otherwise, all the 499 guys, their richest, I mean, like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or Bezos, they're all entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is the fastest way of making money. So in my case, my portfolio is only 2,500 crores. That's investing. But my company is 20,000 crores in the same period. It is
I
10x.
told you most of the money was on the other side.
Yeah.
Now we are getting the real numbers.
Yeah.
Now we have to compound his portion of the 20,000. What portion of the company do you own?
I own about 35-37%.
See, only 35%.
So, so real speed is in the entrepreneurship, and it can be truly exponential. In digital age, everything is exponential.
So, so basically, actually the investing way is a slow way to make money. You're right. The faster way is to start your own business, right? But the faster way is also got high failure rate, right? And so, but the thing is, failure, we just learned failure is great. The best thing to do is to fail. And I told you what I told my daughter, please keep failing a few times. So the other thing that you can keep in mind is that when you're working for someone, you're only supposed to work 40-50 hours a week. Okay, normally that's what they expect. There are 168 hours in a week. And a lot of businesses you can start with no money. Especially technology business. You can be in your home with a computer, you can start a business. So it is very easy to have at least another 40-50 hours while someone is paying you to have second business. Like I told my daughter work half time. Even if she works full time, she still has time to spend 40-50 hours. So what you can do is keep a job and then keep doing startups. First one failed, forget. Next one failed, forget. Keep going. 5th, 6th, 7th, it'll work.
Somewhere it'll work.
And you only need one to work. And that's it. And how many successful businesses have you started, Raamdeo?
I started only one.
Only one. So you didn't need to do many of them. And so that's the beauty of it.
But it didn't work for first 5 years.
Right.
First 5 years were very tough.
That's right.
From 86 to 90, it was very tough. I mean, we didn't know whether we are going to be successful. Because making a lakh or something with 2 chartered accountants, with full family and all, it was not that big a deal.
That's right.
Only after 5 years we realized that we are successful. And we made from 15 lakhs to 30 crores in next 18 months. That's the power of entrepreneurship. When you hit big, when you hit success, it's completely exponential. And one thing while he was saying, it hit me, that if you have an IIT degree, which you will have, your downside is, nobody on this earth can take away your IIT degree. That's your lowest denomination. So, like, I keep telling the guys, nobody can, I don't speculate in the market. I only invest. So, my 2,500 crores can become 100 crores or 200 crores. Or maybe it can become zero at best, at worst. But nobody can take away my CA degree. I can always go to Mohnish and say, Mohnish, give me $50,000 job. He will be very happy to give me that job. So you always have always look at your downside. What is the worst? And worst can be your IT degree, which will give you 15-20 lakhs. So why worry? Play the whole life, all the way. Take all the risk. Risk means calculated risk, not speculation. I am saying start entrepreneurship, fail once, fail twice, fail thrice. Success is waiting for people like me.
Now, Raamdeo says he learns from me. So I wanted to try to teach him some things. So I'll try to do it over here. So Raamdeo, this is our annual report. I sent this to you. Did you get it? You don't remember. Okay, so we'll give you a copy. Okay, but so most of you have seen the Dakshana annual report. So he has a process, and you have seen the video. It's called QGLP, right? You heard of QGLP? And quality, growth, longevity, price. Okay, which is how to find companies that will become very valuable in the future. But there is a better method than that. The better method than that is Dakshana annual report. So Dakshana annual report, Raamdeo, has a list of the companies our alums have gone to work. You know this area called Careers Launched? Mm-hmm. So Careers Launch has list of companies. Mm-hmm. This company list is better than your QGLP list. And let me explain why. So you know QGLP, you're holding the ear like this faster way. So there are 2 or 3 kinds of companies here. Number one, there are companies that are government-owned companies that our people are going to work. Forget those. Can't invest in those companies. Number 2, there are foreign companies like Microsoft or Oracle or something. Forget those also. They are not traded in the market. But there are a bunch of companies that are Indian companies that are hiring you guys and they are working. So you look at that list, and then when you go and look at how well those companies have done in the past, you will find they've done very well. So let me tell you something. I was recently visiting some chemical company. So I asked them, how many chemical engineers you have? So it was not a big company. They said we have about 35 chemical engineers. And I said, how many of them are from IIT? So they said 0. And I said, why? Why do you not have IIT engineers? So their response was that these IIT engineers are really hard for us to recruit. And then after we recruit them, it's very hard for us to keep them, because then somebody else hires them. So we don't have them. Okay, and then when I look at their stock performance, it's useless. Okay, because that's a company that doesn't understand that you need the absolute best talent in that area of your company, which is the intellectual property you're developing. So, and I've talked to other companies which are loaded with IIT kids, and they are paying good salaries, they're retaining them. So when you look at this list, Raamdeo, this evening when you're about to go to bed, it's a new way. It is QGLP Plus, this is giving you an inside view of the businesses that are valuing top talent, and it is not easy for companies to retain you. They may be able to hire you out of IIT, but even that will be hard for them, because you will not join them unless you are seeing a lot of good things in the company. And especially if you look at Dakshana alums who have stayed with those Indian private companies for a long time, those are the ones. So another way to slice the apple is, I never thought that our annual report is there to make money, but this is a side effect of what's happening. So we're going to give you a copy for that.
Sure.
So with that, thank you very much. Thanks for listening to us. It was a great session, and very grateful to Raamdeo for taking the time to come and meet with us, and thank you very much. It's great.
Yes, I'm absolutely privileged, and I really enjoyed being here and with all the kids here.
Okay, great. Thank you.